Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Self-Taught Dev Tutorials. This is Paolo, and today we will be discussing what is Google Apps Script. I will also give a sample demo on how to send an email using AppScript within a spreadsheet. But before we dive into the details, please click on subscribe to get access to more tutorials. So let's get started. So a lot of you might be asking, what is Google Apps Script? Well, Google Apps Script is a lightweight application development tool that was developed by Google for G Suite platform. In my opinion, it's more of a counterpart of Excel VBA, allowing you to extend the functionality of Google Spreadsheets, Docs, Forms, Slides, and Gmail. It is also a powerful tool and user-friendly, um, and you can actually do a lot of cool things with it. For this tutorial though, we will be focusing more on using AppScript in a Google spreadsheet. For our demo, we have a spreadsheet where we want to send an email using AppScript, and we want to get the value of cell A2 and use that as the body of the email. Now here we have three requirements. The first one is we need to create an AppScript project where we are going to write our code. The second one is we need to get the value of cell A2 programmatically. And the third is we need to send an email using AppScript, pass in the value of cell A2 as the body of the email. Okay, so to go or to do the first step, which is create an AppScript project, before we do this, please take note that there are three types of scripts. So the first one, which is what we are going to use in this demo, is called a container-bound script. Now, what is a container-bound script? It is an AppScript project that is created within a specific Google document. So in our case, we will be creating the AppScript project within this Google spreadsheet. And this container bound script is only attached to this specific document. That means you can only access your scripts by going or opening this spreadsheet and going to Tools and Script Editor. The other type of script is called standalone script. So what is a standalone script? A standalone script is not bound to any specific Google document. You can create a standalone AppScript project by going to script.google.com and click on New Project, and that will create a standalone project for you. Now there is another way to do this, or there is another way to create a standalone project. The other way is going to your Google Drive, and you need to add in or to install the Google Apps Script extension. Now how you can do that is easy. You just go to New, More, Connect More Apps, and in the search bar type in Script, and there you can see Google Apps Script extension. Now once you have that, you just need to install it, and once that's installed, then you can go to New again, More, and now you can see Google Apps Script in your extensions, and you click on that and it will create a standalone AppScript project for you. Now the last type of script is called a web application script, or we simply call it web app. Now what is this? A web application script is an AppScript project. Either it's standalone or container bound. The only difference is that you need to publish your AppScript project as a web application. Now this is used when you want to create user interfaces using AppScript, which is really cool. but we will not cover that in this tutorial. Probably we will do that in future videos. So let's go back to our demo. So let's create our AppScript project. And this will be a container-bound script. So let's go to Tools, and then Script Editor. And this will create a container-bound script that will be attached to this spreadsheet. So you might also be wondering why you see this notification saying that the AppScript project is powered by Chrome V8. The reasoning behind that is because in the past, AppScript was powered by Rhino JavaScript Interpreter, which was using JavaScript version 1.6, some of 1.7 and 1.8, and ECMA Script 5 API. But Chrome V8, which is what we are currently using, or what is currently powering this AppScript project, is actually using modern ECMA script syntax, which is also being used by Chrome and Node.js. So it's more advanced than the previous one. I'm just letting you know why you see this notification. So if you're using an old version of AppScript, or if you have an old AppScript project, you will see an option if you want to enable Chrome V8 runtime engine and use that instead of the old one. So let's name our project. Let's name it AppScript 101. You can name it with whatever you like. And you can always see a default function named myFunction whenever you create a new AppScript project. But we don't need this, so we'll delete that and let's create our own. So the first thing we need to do is we need to create a function that will send the email. Within that function, we need to grab the active spreadsheet or the spreadsheet where this project is attached to, which is this spreadsheet, and then we will be grabbing the value of this cell and then send the email and make it as the body of the email. Okay, so let's name our function send email. And so we need to access this spreadsheet. So to do that, we just need to call the spreadsheet app service and store it in a variable. So we will name our variable SS, or short for spreadsheet. So spreadsheet app, and then we get the properties of this service, which it has a lot of methods, and we will be using the get active spreadsheet method. It means that it will just access this spreadsheet where it is bound to. So and then the next one is we need to access the sheet where we will be getting the value. So in our case, the cell A2 is in sheet 1. So we name the variable sheet, and then we need to call the spreadsheet, the active spreadsheet, by calling this variable, and then we use the method getSheetByName. This method will directly get this sheet, or it will directly get sheet 1, and you will be able to access whatever data is in that sheet. So sheet 1, and then the next one is we need to get the range. So our range is cell A2, that is column A, row 2. So we will call the sheet variable, but we need to name this variable first, which is the range. So let's name it target cell, and we call the sheet variable we have, and then we call the method getRange. There's a lot of options there, but we will be using the one with string A1 annotation. This method will actually accept a string, and just the column and then the row. So that will be column A, row 2. And now we need to get the value of this range, right? So to get the value, we just name the variable cell value, and then we call our range variable, and then call the method getValue. So it will just say, hey, target cell, get me the value that you have, or whatever value you have. And you can actually log just to check if your code is actually working or not. You can log your variables or functions by using logger.log. In our case, we will log cell value, and let's see if it really does get this content. I'll save it, and then you can go here to run your function. You can go to the play icon and click on that, but here will be a list of all the functions you will be creating, because as you go along you will be creating a lot of functions here, and that will be shown in a drop down here. Okay, but for now we only have one, so we want to run that. So let's click the play icon, and that will run this function. So we just need to authorize it. If it's the first time, we need to authorize the script to access our account. We'll just click on allow. And that will run the function. So let's see if we really got the value of this cell. So there's an option, you can go to view and then logs. See, as you can see here, this is the value of this cell. So this means that our code is working. Okay, so the next section is we need to send the email and use the value, or this value, or the value of cell A2 as the body of the email. So to do that, we will use another service, which is the mail app service, which is this. This will allow us to send an email using AppScript. So here we can choose send email accepted with parameters recipient, subject, and body. So let's use this. So the recipient will be who you want to send the email to. So in my case, I'll send it to myself. At Gmail. And then the subject, let's just have it my first AppScript email. And then the body, we will just pass in our cell value variable, because this already stores the value in cell A2, correct? So let's just pass in that variable, and now we're ready to run our function. So let's see if it really works. So let's run this. So now it will ask me again for permissions, because mail app service has a different set of scope to access our account. So that's why it's asking us again if you want to authorize it. So now that we have, it will show that this app isn't verified, which is fine. because you need to verify your application with Google in case you would like to publish your project as a Google Sheet add-on um, or a web application, but we won't cover that in this tutorial. So for now, it is good. You just click on go to AppScript 101 and then click Allow. And that will run our function. So it finished running. So let's see if I really received the email. There it is. So as you can see here, I already received the email with the subject line, my first AppScript email, which is this subject line. And let's see, let's check out the body. And here's the body of the email, which is the value of cell A2. So that's it for this video. If you like this tutorial, please click on subscribe. And thanks for watching. Happy coding!